could you please tell us about the genesis of the book Filming Fiction, Tagore, Premchand and Ray, and how did it come about? What was the main idea behind it?
Well, such a book, I think, was waiting to be written because films, whether in the West or in the East, drew heavily on literature right from its very beginning. Just think of classics in world films like Gone with the Wind or Indian films like Potter Pachali, a film like Rashomon or a film like Paddano Dirmaji. All of them based themselves on literary works. Nowadays, English departments have expanded their canon to include media studies as well and other kinds of studies. So, it has been exercising my mind to explore this particular area, and I organized a seminar on fiction into film, Tagore, Premchand and Ray, in which scholars from literature, writers, media critics, film scholars participated widely from all over the country. The current volume, in fact, is a collection of papers given in that seminar, plus some more papers that were written on request. And I think this made a significant intervention.
But sir, my next question is that as a scholar working at the interface of literature and film, what is your take on adaptation? How do you look at adaptation? Do you think that adaptation gives the real essence of the literature, or it changes with the media, with a new medium?
What we have to remember is that literature and films, they are two different kinds of media or mediums, and the demands are different. Literature should not be treated as film, and film should not be treated as literature. For example, the experience of reading a novel is certainly different from watching a film. While reading a novel, you can determine your pace, you can read it in parts, you can repeat certain portions to savor the beauty of the language and the imagery and so on and so forth. You can put the book aside when you are tired, and after some time you can begin the book again. But in case of film, such a thing is not possible. So, in case of literature or novel, expansion is the name of the word, whereas in case of film, compression is the name of the game. However, film in its limited time span, because of technology and other advantages, can achieve effects that can be only the dream of novelists. So, what we have to remember that in case of film, speed is the essence. I will give you an example. For example, in novels like Gone with the Wind or Potter Pachali, the writers remark, or Bibhutibhushan Bandyopadhyay, they took 100 to 125 pages to tell us about the locale, to establish the settings and characters and so on. Whereas the filmmakers, Victor Fleming and Satyajit Ray, they had to wrap all that up in 15 minutes. So, they had to be very creative and very inventive in the use of their medium. The second thing is that film is a collaborative medium. Though it may stem from the imagination and vision of an individual director, but the final effect of a film will certainly depend on the acting skills of characters, on settings, on costume designs, on sometimes on climate, sometimes on how much money the producer can pay. So, all this will come together to make the final effect of the film, whereas a novel is a solitary activity. It depends on the strength and ingenuity and imaginative power of a single individual.
Lastly, sir, I want to ask that as a translator, um, are you happy with the recent developments that are taking place in the short story genre in Indian languages? And what do you think that, what are the future possibilities that can be explored?
Of course, I am very happy with the development that is taking place now, because we have never had it so good. Earlier, whatever was written in India was by and large confined within the linguistic borders. But with the current interest in translations, particularly translation of literature from Indian languages into English, one gets to know what is happening in different languages of India. And with my limited experience, I now know that there are fantastic stories that are being written in Malayalam, in Tamil, in Assami, in Khasi, and many other languages. So anthologies are being compiled. In fact, every year you come across quite a few anthologies. What I would like, however, and what is more helpful, is the compilation of anthologies on certain themes. For example, for our volume, we had the theme of inter-community relationships in India. 2 or 3 years ago, I saw a volume of that kind coming from OUP with the title Grey Areas, edited by Ira Raja, in which she examined the problem of aging in India, what happens to people when they grow old. Similarly, we have anthologies or compilations dealing with the state of women, empowerment of women, gender issues, and so on and so forth. And these anthologies are studied not only in the confines of literature, they are also studied in the departments of sociology, anthropology, culture studies, gender studies, and so on. For instance, we have this anthology, Women Writing in India, edited by Suzy Tharu and K. Lolita, mainly composed of fictional pieces. There is also poetry, but I know that this is a book that is hugely drawn upon by people who have anything to do with gender studies. Similar things are happening with Dalit literature, which is the current, perhaps the new baby on the block. There is huge interest in Dalit literature, but Dalit literature is written in several languages, Marathi, Gujarati, Tamil, and so on. And one can have a pan-Indian view only when one gets to know about them in an anthology in which we have stories from all the languages into English. And such anthologies are helping in a major way in the development of these new areas of studies, and that is why I wish all strength to the translators and all strength to the genre of short stories.